What is good, and I mean really good with y'all. Soul here, and welcome back to the story mode. So, it is strange that we are doing a Soul Ramble mode for this, but it's only because I'm sure anybody that has played this beta feels the exact same way that I do, in which we just gotta gush a little bit here. We just gotta gush and talk about Sonic Racing Crossworlds. This previous weekend, we just had our 3-day long beta. We were able to play online, customize our cards, and play certain characters, and race on a few selected tracks with, of course, the obviously the cross-world mechanic in which we are racing through giant portal rings to go through different levels and things like that in the midst of the level. And so we just got to talk about this, right? Because here's the thing. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and I've told you guys this before in previous videos where I have talked about, Sonic Riders or just Sonic spin-off games in general, in which the Sonic Racing games I never messed with growing up, because after Sonic Riders, putting them in cars just seriously just did not seem appealing to me whatsoever. Like, I had no interest in that when, all of the style and suave and just badassery of Sonic and Co. on hoverboards called Extreme Gear, that, just all of that sauce was just wiped away the moment they put Sonic in a car, and I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I just simply do not care about this. And 3 games went by, apparently, and I just really never looked into it and never cared, because, we already had our kart racer. We've had Mario Kart, and in reality, it really sucks to put it this way, and we'll talk more about this. I do believe that Mario Kart should have some more proper competition, right? And up to this point, they really hadn't, okay? We had Crash Team Racing, which was fun, but games like that, they fall out. They fall out way too quickly and things like that, because, when you don't treat your IP with respect, it's gonna die out, especially in spin-off games like Crash Team Racing, right? And then, of course, a similar situation happened with Sonic for a good while there, in which the racing games just didn't really appeal to a lot of people, to my understanding. Or, I mean, if they did, it wasn't for a very long time. And, there was always so many different problems that I had heard about, especially with Team Sonic Racing, which just did not seem like a great idea to begin with. But regardless of that, those games happened, okay? But they revealed Sonic Racing Crossworlds, okay? And at first I'm like, okay, well, it's a new spin-off game, but, Sega's kind of in their bag right now, especially Sonic Team and things like that. I wonder what they're going to be cooking up for this. And the moment we got that PlayStation State of Play trailer where we saw the Extreme Gear was back in play, that changed everything. That's where it started to matter, because now we're getting some respect. Now we're getting treated with some respect, because they have been listening these last couple of years. They've been really changing up their game, and they thought, what better way to make this game as appealing as possible to everybody involved than to A, make it look as clean as possible, B, give them the one thing that they've been wanting for ages now, even if it's not directly how they wanted it. And I can live with that. Having Extreme Gear available to utilize in this game is the one thing that has me ready to buy it day one, frame one, off rip, no games, okay? So, of course, they put out the announcement for the beta right after the premiere of that trailer. They said, hey, sign up now so that you can get access to our beta. And usually, when it comes to Sonic betas, from what I've seen for the past, there's a couple of times we've had situations like this, a lot of times actually, but in particular, in recent years, whenever they've had a beta for a Sonic game, they've been very generous with the codes. And for the most part, a lot of people got codes to play online, right? We got plenty of people playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Plenty of people signed up for the beta, and they gave out a lot of codes, okay? And again, they're usually very generous with this. They did the same situation with Sonic Rumble, or Sonic... what's the pocket game that was supposed to come out and never did out here? It literally never came to the US, but regardless, we're looking at a very different Sega right now, and because of that, we got to experience a very different Sonic Racing game. And I have to gush about that a little bit. And I know, you guys know me. Again, this is the Soul Ramble mode, and I'm sorry I gushed a lot. I'll make sure to put timestamps in there, because I know some folks are a little impatient. I understand. I ramble a lot. But this game, man, surprised the hell out of me. Did not think I would find myself getting addicted to a game like this, right? Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some Mario Kart, I love me some racers, I love this kind of thing, right? So, you know, even though the idea of Sonic in a car was kind of stupid to me, I figured, you know what? Let's check the beta out. Let me see what else they're cooking here, because I want to see what that extreme gear looks like in action. Now, they did not give us the extreme gear in the beta. And you know what? I can live with that because it gives us something to look forward to. Okay? And it's very, very, very good that they went out of their way to do this little stress test to see how well their servers hold up, how well things work, and things like that. Very rarely, or only one time, right, did I see anybody having any genuine issues in regards to, like, you know, their playtime or anything like that, or like with glitches or anything. There was not much of an issue to be had. Most people had a very polished experience, and that is just, as a Sonic fan, it warms my heart to really see that Team Sonic, who is developing this in-house apparently, by the way, got the chance to just lock in and do the damn thing, because that is not something they've had for a while now, given the many circumstances they've been put through when rushing out games and things like that. But like, these last few years, man, these last 5 years, they locked in, and this beta was definitive proof of that. I had zero issues with the beta. I had an insane amount of fun, and they just did such a good job polishing this game, making it look good, making it sound good, and most importantly, making it feel good, okay? Again, this is coming from somebody that has no prior experience with Sonic Racing as a concept, as a franchise, right? Other than Sonic Riders, I didn't play any of the Sonic Racing games, okay? But I'm glad, if anything, that I started here, because I wasn't coming in with any like negative bitterness or anything like that. I didn't have, you know, any insane expectations, thankfully, because, you know, it's a spin-off game, you know. I'm not thinking all that hard about a spin-off game. I usually come into it thinking like, okay, well, we're going to play this game and it'll, you know, probably fall off in a couple weeks. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. But the way this game plays, and depending on how they treat it, like I said earlier, Mario Kart really does need some competition, because it can't just be the simple, standard, usual hullabaloo that we've had for the last, like, almost 8 years now, right? No, more than that, actually. Way more than that. And I think we might finally be looking at that competition. We might, I mean, granted, in sales, let's be so completely real with ourselves. Let us be so honest with ourselves. Unless something massive happens with the Sonic franchise in the next coming months, no way it does anywhere near the sales numbers of Mario Kart 9 when that drops, right? But this is definitely going to be a good-ass game that people are going to be talking about for a long time. And if they keep updating it with characters, with customization options for our gear, for our cars, for our extreme gear, for all of our characters and cosmetics and things like that, we have a lot to look forward to. I spent at least 10 hours with this game, and I had an incredible time just hopping on, either winning like crazy or getting completely stomped, because this game is the pure embodiment of chaos. It is absolute tomfoolery and insanity at its purest, and I could not ask for anything more than just pure unadulterated fun in this stupid kart racer with some of my favorite characters. They did a splendid job polishing this game, making it run like butter, and making it so that all of our, you know, not only is there just insane gameplay, but the customization and the tactics you can utilize in this game to get ahead of your opponents is genuinely amazing. It is genuinely amazing how much thought, care, and effort they put into the customization aspects to make this game feel even more tactical as a racing game. Not only do the characters themselves have stats, but every single customized piece, besides stickers obviously, that you utilize for your car, whether it be a balance type, a speed type, or a power type, you are strategizing in that garage. You are considering every little bit and bob to put on that car and who is best to be utilized for said car, okay? And not saying that Mario Kart doesn't have that, right? It's much simpler, though. Mario Kart is very simple in terms of, you know, when you compare the two, because when you really look at it, you are mixing and matching pieces, body parts on this car, changing their color, adding stickers. Mario Kart 8, you know, it's a little behind on that. I cannot lie to you, okay? And I'm sure Mario Kart 9 has something cooking. They always manage to pull something out of their ass to make us be like, all right, we gotta get that. And I know they're gonna show that to us, but as of right now, Mario Kart 9 has a lot of work to do if it's going to make me believe that it's going to end up as a better kart racer than Sonic Racing Crossworlds, because this game was so good with its customization and its detail, okay? Because that really does show in every single race that you enter in. And man, when I tell you these races are so much fun, right? The drifting, depending on, you know, obviously your handling, depending on the car that you're using, depending on the type and depending on the character that you're using, it could feel great, it could feel awful, it really depends on what you're doing. Also, something to keep in mind are the perks that you can utilize to, you know, equip to your car. Crazy stuff. You have so many sets that you can customize for certain setups and things like that that you can switch off at a moment's notice. And there's so many perks to unlock. The surface level of perks that we have available in the beta, that was just the tip of the iceberg. I have no doubt in my mind that there's so many ways you can customize it, hundreds of different ways you can customize it. And that is such an exciting feeling. Man, that is so exciting. And I cannot wait to see what other abilities and things like that we're going to be able to have access to and unlock, because all of these abilities that we have are super useful in one way or another. Okay, and it really goes to show on that track, because man, you are drifting like a maniac. You're bumping into everybody, and if you have on the right perks, hey, guess what? Maybe if you get hit, you're not losing as many rings. If you bump into somebody else, maybe I'm getting a speed boost off of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's so awesome. That is such great strategizing. You know what I'm saying? It's if you're running a power type vehicle, you're going to want to bump into people a lot, because you're losing a lot less rings than they are when you bump into them, and you're also potentially gaining a speed boost off of it if you have the right perk on. And it's genius, man. It's just simple, bona fide genius, and I love that about this game. Okay. And don't even get me started on the tracks and the tricks and the flow of the race. Okay. There's so many different items that you could get on these fields that it's just absolute insanity, man. You're getting your wisps that, you know, or they act like your traditional mushroom, okay? And they dash you forward, you know, regular, and that's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? You're doing anything that you can to get ahead of your opponent, which means that you're strategizing. You're using those wisps to dash across the grass on on off-road and stuff like that. Or maybe you have a truck. It turns you into a monster truck, and you can off-road at any point in time and not lose any of your momentum, and also flatten anybody that dares to get anywhere near you. Okay. You have your shuriken, or whatever the big star is called in this case, that you're utilizing to cut your opponent's car in half and slow them down. Big time. You're using your rocket fist. You have obviously your red rocket fist and your green rocket fists. I feel like they definitely could have changed that up a little bit to not make it as obvious, but because I'm sure a lot of their fans are definitely coming from Mario Kart, they definitely wanted to make it very well known that those items differentiate from each other and do very different things. And that's awesome. That's awesome, that little attention to detail there, to make sure that people know what they're getting into when they're utilizing these items. And it's just so much fun. It's so much fun, okay? And when I tell you that these levels are designed with love and care, that is not an exaggeration by any means. Like, what do you mean? Almost every single one of these tracks that you hit in the Crossworlds have their own unique alternate paths. Almost every single one of them, if not all of them, have alternate paths for you to go on and get ahead of your opponents. If you're utilizing them properly and things like that, there's so much you can do. And it's just, wow, man. Wow. That is so great. These levels are designed with so much love, care, and attention to detail. And also, they look extremely good. And it makes me so excited to see what kind of levels we're going to be racing through when we get the full game. You know, some Lost World levels, which, you know, at first I didn't think we would get. But then we get characters like Zaz available to us in the beta, which we couldn't pick anybody else from the arsenal. We couldn't pick Rouge, Vanilla even, Vector, for God's sakes. What do we do? Like, I don't know. But regardless, it's genius. It's very simple genius that we're going to have access to so many just nostalgic levels from Sonic history, whether it be from Sonic Lost World, Sonic Forces even, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog. We're probably going to be racing on Radical Highway at some point. Do you realize that? I'm sure we've done that before, right? Have we? I don't know. Again, I haven't played those games, but a really high quality polished Radical Highway, you know what I'm saying? Central City from Sonic Heroes and things like that. We're going to be racing through Kronos Island and things like that. That's going to be just, oh my gosh, that's going to be immaculate, brother. That's going to be immaculate, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. And on top of that, the best part about it is that we get to look forward to so many potential characters. Now again, very strange that they decided on Zaz to be one of the beta characters, considering Zaz is definitely like one of the least popular characters in the entirety of the franchise, you know, because he's amongst the what was it? What do they call themselves? The Sinister Six? Whatever. I don't care. They were not, whatever. I don't really care about Zavok, about him, any of them. But that, I feel like that was just their way of saying, like, hey, you can expect characters like Zaz, even if they weren't nearly as popular, you know, as all of these other, you know, mainline Sonic characters. And we got a lot of characters to choose from, by the way. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Eggman, you know, Omega, Cream even. And that's so great. That's so great. And obviously, we already know that we're getting characters like Vector. We already know that we're getting Jet the Hawk. You know, we already saw him there. And we're getting Extreme Gear. That would be criminal to not have him. Okay. And then, of course, we're getting, like, Sage and things like that. It's great. It's great to see all of that in the works. And that this beta, me personally, I think that this beta was extremely successful. Did everything that it needed to do. Every free moment that I had, I was like, you know what? Let me just get in one more real quick race while it's still up, you know what I'm saying? And it ended up being more than one race usually. And, you know, I wanted to see how high up I can get before I just ended up, you know, just putting it down for good and just letting it do its thing so I can, you know, have some excitement ready for when the game fully drops. And I ended up at B-, which not too insanely high or anything like that. I didn't get too insanely high in the rankings. But I earned a lot of currency to utilize for stickers and for cosmetics and things like that. And, you know, just the idea of being able to just consistently, just continuously race and just get all these cosmetics and get all this currency and get these rankings up. It's so exciting to think that cycle is going to be so much better and so much more fun by the time we actually get our hands on the game. It's going to be so great. And I can't wait. Like, this game was so good, man. This beta was so incredible, and it did exactly what it needed to do, which was two things. One, show us that this game is of high quality, that it's a lot of fun, and that we have something to really look forward to. Two, that they can handle servers for this game, that this game can play online with little to no issue. And that's all I could have asked for. And I'm really happy that it succeeded in both. Not with just me, but with a lot of other people too. Pretty much everybody that played this beta had the exact same reaction. Holy crap, this is very polished and extremely fun and addicting. And I'm super happy about that. Super happy. So, when this game's gonna come out, I guess that depends on how well people, you know, felt about the beta. We did just recently get at the time of this recording, we did get our survey, our post-game survey, and I took it, and, you know, I didn't really have any complaints. I guess you know, it's not really much of a complaint, I guess, but maybe we can find a way to handle the crab bucket situation in which we are consistently just battering each other at one point, and then somebody gets screwed over terribly. But then again, that is the karting experience, isn't it? So, I don't know. I really have no notes. It simply was that good. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to you guys, because I would love to talk more about this in another video and talk some specifics and things like that. What we really liked, what we don't like, what could be fixed and things like that. Because right now I'm still living off that high, but I need another sleep or so to really get my mind right, to really criticize the beta in of itself, and just, you know, maybe also make a little bit of a wish list here too. But we'll get more into that. But before we do that, I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Did you play this beta? If you got into the beta, did you have a good time? Was it awesome? Was it everything that you hoped? Are you just really excited for the game now? Or did you not get a beta, or did you not get a beta code, or you got the beta code but you were not feeling this game at all? It just wasn't for you. You just didn't care about it like that, and you are definitely gonna probably pass up on it when it does eventually come out at some point this year, most likely. Tell us everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact I am always gonna be down there with you guys. But with that, yes, sir, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone, so thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
Doing donuts in a bin. I stay funky. Battle goes wherever I am. I stay funky. I don't know who's ready to spit. Just know you're going down with my 58 clips. I stay funky. Honey's taking back to the crib. I stay funky. Get the club popped off like pain. I stay funky. I don't know.